And finally, using the same software, I'm going to show you how you can disable programs that start up from your computer. You'll notice that when you click on Tools, you see Uninstall, and this will be very similar to the Add Remove programs that you saw earlier, but I don't necessarily encourage people to use this because it's best to remove programs using Microsoft's built-in Add Remove programs. Okay, so I'm not going to show you that here. Instead, I'm going to ask you to click on the Startup tab. And here you don't see a lot of programs listed because, like I said, this is a fresh install of my computer and there's not too many softwares installed and too many set to start up. But in your case, you might see quite a few here. And again, use discernment and be careful not to uncheck everything. But you will see things like Java Updater, Adobe Acrobat, and certain other software like DVD players and all. If you have these software installed, they normally automatically start up with the computer. Windows Messenger, Skype. You don't need to have these software running along with your computer. So all you have to do is just uncheck a particular list, and that's all you've got to do. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a quick screenshot of my computer, and for that I'm going to pause the video for a second. So here you're looking at just a screen capture of my personal computer, not the Windows XP one, but my personal computer, kind of showing you how this might look on your system if you were to run the startup tool on your computer. As you can see, I've got quite a lot of software. Some of them I've clicked and disabled, and this is how it would look if you were to work on your own system. So some of these software I don't need to run. I don't need to run QuickTime, so I could easily disable that on my own computer. I don't need the Adobe ARM. I don't need some of these things that's actually on here, but I have clearly not optimized my system, so I'm going to probably do that later. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that. So we're back on the Windows XP computer, and all you have to do is right click and select disable, or you can just select and hit disable right here, or if you're very sure of it, you can even delete the entry, but I think it is just safe to select and click disable. Okay, so this is how you would disable startup programs on your computer using CCleaner. So now, so far, we have looked at uninstalling programs, deleting temporary files, and registry optimization, as well as disabling startup programs. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can install a program called Malwarebytes, which is a pretty nifty and free software for taking care of malware or spyware and all these other useless software that gets automatically installed on your computer. So open up the browser. I'm going to close it again. I'm going to show you from the start. Open up Internet. And once a page is loaded, you're going to go to www.malwarebytes.com. That's malwarebytes.com. And you'll get a page that looks like this. So I'm just going to click on download now. You don't have to buy it. You can click download now. It is still a free software, though it does have a paid option, but you can just click the free option, and you might be taken to one of many sites that host the actual download file. In this case, in my case, it's gone to a website called majorgeeks.com, and that's normal. It's okay. Just wait for it to load. And as you can see, these are the download locations for it. So I'm just going to say download from Major Geeks. Click on that link. Give it a couple of seconds. And again, I might either get a prompt like that, or I could easily click right there as well. So I'm going to just click here, download file. Now remember, this may not necessarily be the same, but you might get something very similar to this. Again, I'm going to save this into my temp folder, which is where I downloaded the CCleaner setup file. Click save. Just give it a bit of time. Again, depending on your internet connection, this might take a bit of time before it comes down onto your computer. So I'm just going to wait and download, and while we're waiting, again, like I said, please be careful where you're downloading software from. If you don't trust something A site that you can go to is cnet.com, www.cnet.com, and they also host all these files. Once you go to cnet.com, you can click on the download link, downloads button right there. So click on that. And as you can see, it's got a list of, and it's a site which lists many software, including free as well as paid version. So I could easily search for a software right here, and I'm going to enter malware, and as you can see, it's already prompting me for Malwarebytes, and I'll just wait for the search to load. And scroll down here and you can see Malwarebytes with the logo, and you just click on that and the Malwarebytes download page will load up on cnet.com, and you could even click download now from here to actually get your software. Okay, so that's another way of downloading Malwarebytes. I'm going to close the browser for now, and I can see that my other download has finished. Click on run to start the installation for the Malwarebytes. Click run, click OK there, next, accept the agreement, next, click next, go with the default options here, that's fine, and click install. Okay, so just give it a few seconds as it installs the software. And as you can see, it's installed the software, and it now gives you the option to update the Malwarebytes anti-malware software and then launch it. I'm going to leave those checked and click finish, and it's going to run an update. And what this does is it actually pulls the latest version of the software from their parent website. So let that finish. Again, this may not necessarily be the same for you depending on whether or not they have a new version out. As you can see, this one updated from 6705 to 7083, so click OK. And then just wait and see if it actually launches a program or runs another install. Either way, that's fine. We're just waiting for the software to run. If you don't see it, you can just double click on the desktop icon. Now here, be careful. You can easily click start trial if you don't read it. Basically what they're saying is if you want to trial their full product, you can click on start trial, but in my case I want to just use the free version, and I'm going to decline the trial, and you'll come to this. If you're running the software, it's kind of good practice to just click on the check for updates. In my case, it shouldn't pick up any because we had already updated it. And then what you can do is click on perform quick scan. All these other options may not necessarily be available to you because actually let's try the full scan. Oh, actually it does allow you to do the full scan. That's fine. You can do the quick scan, but the flash scan is only for licensed users. Okay, so select the quick scan, click on scan, and what this is going to do is that the software is going to quickly scan through the computer. Now, in my case, in this Windows XP computer, I know there are no infections, but perhaps on your computer, you might have a few numbers come up. In some cases, I've seen 20, 30, 100 even come up on the objects infected, and it'll show up in red color. Okay, so in this case, I am pretty certain that it won't come up with anything, but I'm going to let it run, and I'm going to pause the video for now till it finishes, and once it finishes I'll resume the video and we'll continue from there.